Hello, I'm Val, and in this yoga video we're going to look at some stretches that are specifically targeted to runners. Don't let that put you off trying them. You can practice these on your mat and regardless of whether you practice any sort of running discipline or not. Yoga can help with any sports discipline. It can help by training you to breathe nice and deeply from the diaphragm. When we breathe deeply and we get that oxygenation into the muscles, they work much better. You could practice visualization, so visualizing your perfect run. And of course, we work to open and stretch through all the muscles, all the joints of the body, so we can counteract any work from a dominant forwards or backwards posture, and also getting that balance of the lefts and rights. We're going to begin with a few nice deep breaths. Start with your position. Think about feet directly under the hips, balancing the weight through the feet, length through the legs, softening the knees, adjusting through the hips and the pelvis, maybe drawing in a little with the tummy muscles and lengthening through the lower back, straightening through the spine. Releasing the shoulders, opening the chest, so maybe drawing your shoulders back a little and bringing your head to a nice centered position. We're going to do 3 nice deep breaths. It's up to you if you want to work with your eyes open or closed. It will depend very much on your environment. And if it suits you, try and breathe in and out through the nose for these 3 deep breaths. The nose will naturally filter, warm and moisten the air. Breathing in from the diaphragm, up through the rib cage, to the top of the collarbones. The out breaths controlled, falling from collarbones so the chest begins to close. And maybe even the tummy muscles drawing in to breathe out fully. Important to expel the air correctly or fully. In breath from the abdomen. Diaphragm working. Expanding and opening as you breathe up towards the collarbones. Breathing in your own time. Emptying from the collarbones down through. Till tummy pulls in. Last one. Of course, you might want to practice that for longer. You might be happy to keep practicing that with your stretches. We're going to start at the neck. So often we hold tension and that can disturb your form when you're running. We're going to take the head gently in all directions. Have a draw in of the chin towards the throat, lengthening through the back of the neck. And as you get used to working on this, make sure you drop those shoulders. Keep length through the back of the head, back of the neck, lifting the chin. Stretch through the throat. Bringing the head to center. Drop the ear down towards the shoulder. If you can, drop the shoulder on the other side. Head returns to center. And then drop the other ear towards shoulder, encouraging this shoulder to drop. And returning to center. So you can repeat that as many times as works for you. Chin in. Chin lifted. To center. Ear over. To center. Ear over. To center. Let's have a look at those shoulders. Typically we'll want to open those shoulders. So we're going to work with the hands behind the back. This will depend very much on your flexibility. So you might be able to bring your hands together in prayer. Try and draw those shoulders back, elbows together and keep standing tall. You may be able to turn those fingertips in towards the body and take the fingers up through the back of the body, bringing the palms in together. Again, opening through the shoulders, drawing the elbows together. Okay, don't worry if that's too big a stretch for you. The modification would be to either hold hands, Hold wrists or work along the forearms. Wherever your hands are, you're encouraging those shoulders to open, and we're having a nice opening stretch through the chest. And release your arms out. So you can repeat that, you can add it in to another stretch. Next, are going to work into the spine. We're going to do a cat curl. It might be that you want support for this. You might want to work hands on thighs. So feet are hip width-ish apart. Bend the knees a little. We draw our tail under, lengthening through the lower back. Tuck the chin in, rolling the shoulders forwards. And then we allow the belly to come forwards. We're tilting through the pelvis a little. Chest comes forwards. And we might even be lifting the gaze. So you can repeat that as many times as you want, working through your cat stretch, warming that spine. Might be you've got hands on the wall to do this, or onto the back of a bench or a railing, in which case you can really encourage that curl through and then working to the other side. So warming up through that spine. Bring yourself to a nice upright position. We're going to have a little work into those feet next. So we're going to think about rolling the weight through the feet. If you'd like to come up on your toes and then down onto your heels and lifting the toes. This works into your ankles, your leg muscles and your feet. If you find it's too much to work both together, work one at a time. Or have hold of something nice and steady. If you're comfortable with that and you know you need to really work into those shoulders, a few circles. Trying to keep the upper body still, bending into the knees and working the weight through the edges of the feet. And then a few in the opposite direction. As I say, you could be doing your chest opening at the same time, you could be doing your breathing. Then we're going to have a nice tall stretch through. Really lengthen up and draw that tailbone under. And we'll release that. I'm going to now take you into some leg stretches. We're going to work the right side then the left side, but in reality you might actually do all of these onto the right leg and then do all of them onto the left leg. We will start by having a hug in of that right knee. So prepare the left leg or have your hand out onto balance for something. Draw that right thigh in towards you. If you're not comfortable holding over the shin, hold underneath. You're looking to stretch and open through the side, through the back of the waist on the right side, through into the hip. Okay, so that foot can come down. We can try the other side. Weight into the right leg, bringing up the left leg, hand to something if you need balance, hugging over or under, but focusing on drawing that thigh in towards you as you're standing tall. By all means, practice your breathing whilst you're having this stretch. And we'll release that foot down. Heel into bottom now. So lots of you will know this one. Trying to bring the heel in towards the bottom. Try and draw those knees together. Stand tall. Make sure you've got your pelvis nice and square. Now that free hand might be holding on to something. It might be having a stretch away, reaching up to the sky. When you're ready, you can change sides. The idea of doing all of this is that you can take these stretches, you can learn them, and then you can apply them when you're out preparing for your run, finishing your run, or if you're doing a run with a break in the middle, maybe you want to stretch out those muscles in between. So this is really an instructional video for you to take these moves and then apply them as you remember them. And the breath is a really good way to time each side so that you feel you've balanced through. So our next one is going to be a step backwards. We're going to have the hands together in prayer, fingertips facing forwards. Going to stride the right leg back as you stretch those arms forwards. Go for a really long stretch into that back leg. Try and lengthen the arms up past the ears. Reaching forwards through those arms, pushing into that back leg. You might be able to coordinate bringing the hands in, the foot in at the same time to work onto the other side. Left leg steps back as arms stretch forwards. We stretch into that back leg. We reach into those arms. Opening up through the left side of the body, breathing. If you know you roll through your shoulders, do focus on lifting those shoulders, drawing them back together as you stretch the arms up. And then bring yourself into center. Now we're going to work into what we know as a warrior stretch with a twist in our yoga position. So I'm going to turn my right foot out so my toes are at 10 past on the clock. I'm going to take the left foot forwards in a long stride and I'm going to bend into the left knee. Body is followed forwards. Okay, so body's facing forwards. Bring the shoulders to be over the hips. Hands together in prayer. Elbows lifted to be level with the wrists. And then keeping weight balance through those legs, we have a twist through the waist as if we're trying to put that left elbow down towards the left knee and we're looking upwards. You should get a lovely stretch in this thigh, it should be opening. Keep weight in that back leg. If you struggle for balance, don't look up, look forwards. Then we can bring our body forwards. We can step the leg back, it's a more tricky one. If you need to step forwards. So we're going to take the left toes out to 10 to the hour. Going to take a stride forwards with the right foot, bend into the right knee, keep weight in the back leg, body's facing forwards over that right foot. And we bring the hands together in prayer, we bring the shoulders back over the hips, and we're going to twist as if we're trying to put that right elbow down towards the right knee, maybe looking up to the ceiling, weight down through both those feet. Feel the stretch, opening, maybe working with your breath. When you feel that's balanced, head comes down, body comes forwards. If you can, you step back to the back foot. Good. Have a little shake through. So we've got one more opening stretch for that thigh. You might find this useful to do sitting. We see if we can bring the right foot up into the left hand. I'm just going to move back against the wall. Okay, so right foot into left hand. Turn the foot up to face towards you. Drop that right knee open. You should have the right ankle resting on the right thigh. You may over time be able to take it beyond. You may over time get to where your knees stack one over the other. You can do this laying down on your mat if you're laying down, but if you're out on a run, it's more likely you'll find a wall or something you can rest against and drop that knee down. So returning the right foot to the floor, bringing that left foot up, seeing if you can get it in your right hand, turn the sole of the foot upwards, and then take the leg to wherever it will go. We're aiming for this heel to be up by the hip somewhere, maybe the knees stacking over. Try to be tall, sit on a park bench to do it, sit on the ground to do it, lean against the wall. And when we feel balanced, that one can come down. And all of those stretches should help you with your run. What I I would say is, particularly if you've been on a very long run, when you get home and you rehydrate, consider taking a moment to lay with legs up wall. So I'm sure it doesn't need any real demonstration, but the legs up the wall position helps the valves of the legs, so we drain everything the other way. The heart, of course, becomes lower than the feet. And it's a really nice position to relax in, to take any pressure build up from the feet. And of course, if I've been for a run, I would remove my shoes and socks, have my toes and feet free so I can have a little wriggle, and just take a moment to relax, to really appreciate the run, to allow my breath to return to normal. And you'd probably stay there, depending on you, for 5 minutes or so. It always depends on the length of your run, the intensity of your run. So I hope there's been something helpful for you in this video, or something different to try even if you're not a runner. If you're going to take these movements away, it should be sort of 3 times. We tend to repeat 3 times in yoga. Once for the body, once for the mind, once for the breath. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice deep breath together, breathing in, really lengthening and stretching up. Releasing as you breathe out. Thank you very much. Namaste.